should tell you that the driver of that tank is right at the beginning, and the commander they're still there on board and come down here and they've had enough experience to drive the tank very well. They reckon that between them they have 54 years of service. Fuel tanks at the back, and it's powered by a Perkins diesel engine. It was originally invented by Rolls-Royce and then adapted by Perkins to power the tanks. They really did have a tremendous one out to go. Put the gun on full elevation now. There we are. There you go. It's aiming at me for some reason. It's just clearing the gun so it doesn't dig in the ground. There we are. Again, like most of these tanks, now the driver sits alone in the front. They've done away with what you might call the co-drivers. Just got the big tank there and the I-91 has got 2 or 3 insertion pieces, it's fully amphibious, and those 2 things holding up behind the turret are doing special start vessels which require the illuminate the target. It's a very low profile, it's not quite fast, it's stuck. It's a DAF 12408 out of hotel carrier. It's not driven on all 8 wheels, it's driven on 6 today. The others are only used for steering, and it has the most unusual machine gun position, like a sort of fold-up side component so the machine gun can be quite secure with the command post. It's basically an APC, doors at the back, so the infantry can pile in and pile out as they need to, and had a very good cross-country report. As far as I know, it's not a very easy vehicle.
And secure the tank's positions, and the 432 was a stalwart of the Cold War. It's actually still in service to this day. So what you're really looking at with the 432 is a box body that the infantry would go in the back. They would deliver the soldiers up to the front line, and the infantry in that rear would then debus, as it's called, out the rear. Now, as those 432s are going round, they're being followed round by the British Army's tank of the Cold War, the Chieftain. And as we heard earlier from David, the Chieftain was a pretty impressive bit of kit. One of the best guns and most accurate guns in NATO at the time. 120mm rifled gun. Very, very impressive bit of kit. 3 crew members up in the turret. You've got your commander, you've got your loader, and you've got your gunner, and the driver's hidden away right down at the front, again in a supine position, so he's keeping the turret nice and low. Now, following the Chieftain, we've got 2 American M60 tanks. Again, they were the workhorse of the American Army through much of the Cold War. A fairly basic design. It follows on from all the M48 series of vehicles. Really what the Americans tended to do, they just sort of made their tank series slightly larger and sort of upgraded as they were going along, rather than coming up with a radical new design. But the M60, a very big, very heavy tank. They used the British 105 gun on it, so it was an impressive bit of kit in terms of firepower, and they put a whopping great big diesel engine in the back to power it around. Now behind the two M60s is a reconnaissance vehicle that was actually put together by the Canadians. It's a Lynx reconnaissance vehicle, and this small little box-shaped vehicle, it's actually built on all the parts from the M113, the American Armoured Personnel Carrier. They took a wheel station out, made it slightly smaller, it's aluminium armour, and it's quite nice and fast. And behind the Lynx reconnaissance vehicle on the NATO display, there's a Scorpion. Those of you in the audience old enough to remember, that was the action.